Welcome back to Commercial Breaks with Miss Education. I'm Miss Education. So I had a conversation this week with a friend. We were talking about racism in America, and I was just sharing my views with her. And I was like, you know what? I am just gonna put it on my online diary and share it here. I am breaking away from this idea of racism. I am slowly getting to the point where I assess based on character, and I'm intentionally pushing out of my mind to assess based on race. I believe that I have been programmed, but I'm speaking for myself. I believe that I've been programmed to see the world this way. And as a result, me seeing the world this way allows somebody to make a lot of money off of me. When I say me, collective me. I believe that me seeing the world through the lenses of race has limited me, has slowed me down. Racism has shut doors of opportunity. And I don't mean racism in the sense that someone was racist towards me. I mean the infectious poison that lives within my head was holding me back. I wouldn't try for a job, interview for a job or try out for this or try out for that because of racism, because of race, because I was told that I was less than. I was told that I have to work harder than. And I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to work harder than the person next to me. But if I have to work harder than the white girl next to me, then why? Why should I go for it, right? And again, I'm talking about 40 years of this brainwashing. And so I was just like, what if there's a group, 1%ers, those who run the world, these secret societies, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. What if there's a group that has us believing that this racism animal beast isn't much larger than it really is? They have us pinned against each other. I don't like white doesn't like me. My enemy is white's enemy is me. What if the real enemy is green? Because I genuinely believe that when we are pinned against each other, somebody gets rich. I don't know. And not only does somebody get rich, right? There's that 1% make a lot of money off of us being ignorant to this and falling for this deception. But we lose out, right? I lose out on great friendships. You lose out on great people. I mean, we lose out on relationships. I know so many individuals who will not date, like so many Black females who will not date a white guy simply because he's white. But that's how we've been raised. That's how this system has us trained. It just had me thinking something isn't right. What if racism, what if it wasn't real? Okay, let me rephrase that. Of course it's real. Of course it's real. For instance, right? If I were to say I am a sexist, that means I have issues with the opposite sex, right? So I have issues with men. But a man could say he's sexist as well, meaning he has issues with women or discriminates against women or whatever, judges based on gender. If I'm an ageist, a young person would have a problem with an old person would have a problem with a young person. So why is it that when it comes to racism, it's a one-way street? Everything else goes back and forth, right? Like I can go this way or I can go this way. It's still the same. But when it comes to racism, it's white people are the racist, Black, brown experience racism. It doesn't add up. If it's about race, then I think that at one point in our lives, not one point, on many points in our lives, We have all been racist to individuals that look like us and individuals who don't look like us. And all of us have experienced racism, where somebody mistreats us or judges us based on our skin color. That's the true narrative. But they have us all fooled. And by having us all fooled, they cause division and somebody gets wealthy. Like, I find it so fascinating. Even take politics. Black people historically, and I mean modern history, have voted for the Democratic Party. So majority of Black people, or many Black people, tend to vote Democrat, while the majority of the Republican Party is white. I want to put this out there. I think, especially Blacks who come from the Caribbean or from Africa, I think if we were to be objective and honest and go back to our roots, the majority of us would vote Republican. And when I say Republican, I mean conservative. We would vote conservative because historically we come from conservative countries with conservative mindsets and ideologies. Yet, the majority of us vote liberal, right? It doesn't make sense to me. I've been sitting and having these conversations, I just ponder and I'm like, why am I feeding into this? And so I decided to stop. And as a result of me waking up and realizing that I've been played and part of a system to make somebody earn more green, as I have an issue with white, I stopped having issue with white. And then I started being a Christian, like a genuine Christian, in the sense of I started seeing people as children of God who happen to be white, black, brown, whatever, Asian, whatever, but children of God. And that has been liberating. And that's the thing, right? I was enslaved by racism. And if America runs on racism, that means America is enslaved. How ironic is that? America is enslaved because it runs on racism. But there's a freedom that comes when you can release this racism and see people for who they are. I have made amazing friends in the last 3 years, genuine friendships, genuine connections with so many white people, because I stopped seeing their whiteness and I saw their humanity. Who would have thunk it? And could you imagine if we as a society stopped seeing black and white and saw green? And I don't mean green like money, we all become greedy, but realize that green was the real enemy. Green was actually what was keeping us divided, because let me tell you, those in power, that 1%, they come in all shades. They come in all shades. What they have in common is money and power. And all are welcome, regardless of skin tone, if you have the right dollars, the right amount of dollars, and enough power. But as little people out here, the ones that they're controlling with the strings, the puppets, us little people out here, we've been fooled to think that this racism thing is bigger than it is. And for this reason, there are relationships that we don't have, that we don't engage in. I have a lot of black friends, black women friends, who will not date a white man. I'm like, yo, you are literally cutting out a whole population because of their skin color? That's how they got us fooled. You have a bunch of white people who don't want to enter black spaces, and they're missing out on a plethora of personalities. But imagine if we were to get together and see, what could we do? In 2021 during the pandemic and the George Floyd debacle, we showed our faces. We came out strong. We let racism take over. And what did we gain from it? Really, what did we gain from this racism? We gained this DEI concept, with DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. Yeah, we gained that, and everyone was drinking that Kool-Aid. Oh, and people got rich off of that. But nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. It's all performative. No one really cares. But people made money. Green won. Blacks lost. Whites lost. Green won. Right? I'm sad. I'm sad at the fact that I was sleeping for so long. I gave into this false narrative for so long. And I have been liberated. And I wish that, others could feel this liberation, could experience it. It's amazing. Like, for the first time, this happened like last year. For the first time, I walked into a restaurant where it was majority white. I think there were like 3 Black people, and I didn't feel uncomfortable. I walked in and I was like, oh, other humans. And I sat, and I didn't feel like everyone was looking at me. I didn't feel uncomfortable. I enjoyed my meal. I enjoyed my conversation with the person sitting in front of me. I hadn't felt that because I was in shackles. Like, racism had me bound, right? I'm on a plane sitting first class thanks to my sister, and I'm sitting next to a white man. And normally when I sit next to like these white men, I'm just like, I don't want to talk to him. Oh my God, he thinks he's this problem. And we literally spoke. I think it was Seattle to Alaska. We just kikied the whole time. It was great. We had so much in common. And I'm like, yo, I've been missing how many relationships, how many friendships have I missed out on because I was drinking the Kool-Aid of racism? I know there are people who are going to be like, oh, Jen, you're a sellout. I'm not. If anyone knows me, whenever I find something good, I share with everyone. And I'm telling you that I have been liberated, and it feels amazing. I have made great friendships that I will take with me once I leave this state. I've met amazing white people. Yeah, no. Let me rephrase that. I've met amazing people who happen to be white. Yeah. And I just wish we would all wake up and realize that America is fueled and runs on racism. That's how the engine keeps moving. Like, how car needs gas? Well, America uses racism, uses our ignorance to keep running, to make more green. And I'm just challenging you to stop this machine. Stop focusing on the black and white, the yellow, the brown, all the colors of the rainbow, whatever it is. Well, not all. Focus on green. Because if you step back and you look at things through those lenses, you'll realize that white person is not your enemy. White people, you'll realize that black or brown person is not your enemy. Now, granted, there are jerks on both sides. A jerk is a jerk, regardless of skin color. There are jerks on both sides. And there are individuals who've been drinking this Kool-Aid so much that they now are the Kool-Aid. They are, you know what I mean? But there's so many who walk in it but don't believe it. But this is what they're told to do. So if you're one of those, I just challenge you to wake up, step out of it, and break this machine. Because America does not need to run on racism. Like, America needs to run on love. I'm going to say something like, ooh, make America love again. How about that? Make America love again. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Till next time.